Oh, actually, recording started just now. Okay. That's what I heard. The message was not coming. Chalo. So what we'll do is today we'll cover a bit of architecture, e-business suite architecture. We will divide this one into today off and like tomorrow off. It's a little long. It will take a long session for this, but we'll try to make it as interesting as possible because everyone has to understand this basic architecture. So tomorrow when you work on this on Oracle Apps, the e-business database administration, if you don't know the architecture, it will be very difficult for you to understand this. So with that in mind, why not we start with this architecture? So after completing this lesson, you should be able to describe the Oracle e-business architecture, identify the high-level technology stack components that make up the desktop tier, application tier, and the database tier. Describe the technology stack and database. Describe how Oracle e-business would utilize the various technology stack components. Identify and describe the role of various Oracle e-business technology layer products. So this is the only theory topic, which is very exhaustive. Remaining everything is okay, but this topic is little detailed they given. So we have covered last week just a basics, but here they will cover more in deep. So when you take Oracle e-business architecture, it's a three-tier architecture. You have a client tier, you have an application tier, you have a database tier. So we know that your database tier will have where your customer data has been stored. Any organization you take, any company in the world, basically it will have a database and an application. So you take any application in the world, it will be like that, where people will enter mostly transactional sort of thing like banking systems or any systems. They will have a database where your data is stored, and front end there'll be applications. So as a database administrators, you'll be responsible for the backups, for the recovery. If anything happens, you need to do reporting part. So these are the normal activities. What as an app, regularly applying the patches, CPU patches or application patches. There may be errors some in the application. You're responsible for applying the patches. So it's a very interesting field. If you select if you are an Oracle e-business administrator, very interesting stuff is there in this, right? So your databases of data objects and code objects. Code objects are nothing but procedures, packages, triggers. Data objects are nothing but tables, indexes. They all come under. And we have application tab, and which is also a dual file system. So this image, this icon is like a dual file system. So this is a run file system and this is a patch file system. So the users normally they connect from the client tab to this run file system, and they'll be using this run file system. And if at all you need to apply some patches, you have a patch file system. So every file system, this is a physical file system. For the database you have to run the queries, whereas for the applications it is physically present, physically present. And it has forms, reports, concurrent programs and scripts, HTML and Java. So why not I just show you practically, because last week we did a installation as a Oracle user. So when I run this environment file, so I am in the run file system. So this is the, if you go and suppose for example I go to AP top. AP means account payables top. So here you can see, if you see, you will find like forms, right? So these are all the run file system forms are there. And similarly you will have reports. So US means United States, yeah, reports. So like that is what is telling. This is a physical file system which you can see. And you're in
So,
FS1. Yeah.
sir, how do we know that we are in the run file system or patch file system? Is there any
See,
command to it?
actually when you actually now, yeah, yeah,
echo, it says space dollar file underscore edition.
yeah,
You type that,
yeah, you'll get
it
it.
will
Yeah.
show you whether you are in run file system or patch file system.
Excellent. So excellent. So suppose and this is the patch file system. FS2 is the patch file system. Actually, there is another environment file which is, see, this is basic 12.2. So which doesn't has another environment file called EBS apps. So that will, when you run the EBS apps, you can either go to run file system or the patch file system. So when we apply a few patches, that particular thing, that environment file will come up. But yeah, nevertheless, as Sumit told, if you say echo file system, you'll know whether you're in a run file system or the patch file system. Right. So as we have seen, there are forms, there are reports, there are concurrent programs, programs and shell script, HTML files. So there are some physically there are so many folders. If you take AP top, see you have HTML files, see you have forms files, you have report files. That is what he is telling. So why are the forms being used? Forms are like data entry, right? You take any organization. I was telling, for example, you take any airlines. So suppose when they are booking the flight tickets, so they need a forms interface by which they can feed in the passengers, the customer's data, and from where he's starting, where he's going. So reports are like, for example, they just want to know, hey, how many passengers are, how many customers have moved from from San Francisco to Detroit or something like that. So that those are the sort of reporting thing. Concurrent programs are also like batch programs. There may be some month-end programs, yearly programs, which may provide high volume, non-interactive update of data. So there are some like this. There are different requests are there. There may be some HTML, XML, Java programs. All right. So yeah, last week we have seen this, but we'll be going in detail. Last week we just covered at the high level, but today we'll be covering a little bit more of it. We have a 3-tier architecture: client tier, we have an application tier, and the database tier. Client tier is nothing but your desktop, your laptop, and this is the middle tier. Normally in most of the companies, as I told you last week, last week, if at all you covered, like, they will have one node where you have your application tag. This is called the app tag, right? And then you have a database tag. So this is one node and this is one node. So, and this is your laptop, for example, this is your laptop where you're logging in. So here you'll have a web browser like Chrome or Firefox or in So from here you enter the URL, it goes to the application tag, and you may query a record. So once you query a record from the database, it will be retrieved, and you may add a new user, you may add a responsibility. So you cannot interact directly the database. So you have to go from your laptop machine, from your desktop tab, you have to connect to the application, and through application only you can interact the database, either for query purpose or for maybe you're trying to open a sales order, or you want to create an invoice, so you want to generate some report. So everything can be done through application tab. Yeah. So similarly, yeah, so that is what is telling. The application tier support manages the various Oracle e-business components. The tier consists of web services, form services, Java application services, and concurrent processing server, which we are going to see. And this is the database tier. So now what he does is he explains each of them. So everyone has to have a basic understanding about what is there in the client tier, how are the jar files has been created. So once the installation is completed, so what you do is you access the URL from your web browser. This is a web browser. So web browser could be either, normally nowadays we are using only Chrome. So either Firefox, any browser you access it. What happens is basically once you connect it, all the forms in form of jar files are being extracted and will be installed on your desktop tab. So this is nothing but the client applet. So why like that? Because only the first time it will take some time, because basically it brings the jar files from the application tab and it will install on the desktop tab. But next time onwards, since the jar files are located locally on your laptop machine, it will be much faster. Only for the first time it will take some time, right? So that's what he's telling. So the client tab is also referred as the desktop tab, which will provide the user interface. The client interface is provided through HTML for large number of HTML based application, and via a set of Java applets containing one or more jar files. See, the jar files are downloaded to the client computer and used by the web browser when the first time an Oracle Forms has been accessed. The web browser should be Java enabled with Java J2 platform standard J2E plugin. So first time we'll be installing the Java also on your laptop machine. There is a proper version what you need to install. So if it is already installed on the browser, you'll be prompted to download it when you access Forms on the Oracle E-Business Suite. The browser is used for all client access to the Oracle E-Business, whichever of these types of application is in use. So first time, what we do is on a client on a laptop machine, we are going to install the Java, whatever is the version, Java 8. I think I have installed Java 8 256 something like that. So you install the Java version, and after you access the browser, it basically pulls all the jar files and puts in the browser. So that way, that is the interface by which you can access your traditional forms. So some more details. The Forms client applets are presentation applets. Yes. So the end users. So end users means they're in most of the organization. Who are these users who are using this Oracle E-Business? That's the question. So there may be some general ledger users who will be daily logging in the journal entries. There may be some of the sales people who will be raising the invoices or purchase orders. They want to purchase some items. So they need an interface. So that interface is provided by the Forms client applet. This supports Oracle E-Business products that use the Forms interface, are packaged as a jar files. The jar file contains all the classes required for Oracle E-Business. They are downloaded when the forms are first accessed. So instead of giving the one form at a time, Oracle has already a jar. What is a jar? It is something like a zip, a zip of all the classes files. So those are being first time when you access the forms, they are downloaded locally on your machine. And when you're trying to access, right, you can see that this is Java plugin, and you will have a Java console once you access the desktop, you'll find this Java console. This is nothing but the Java client for you. So next comes the application tag. In the application tag, as you see, there is a web services which will provide the HTML pages, the form services, how you can access the forms. Similarly, you have Java application services for different activity. You have a reporting needs which can be processed by the concurrent processing server. Yeah, so the application tag, sometimes referred as the middle tag, hosts the various hosts and servers that implement and execute the business logic. So your entire business logic is available in the middle tier in form of packages, procedures, triggers, and mediates communications between the desktop and the application tier. So you cannot, from the desktop tier, you cannot connect to the database tier. You from your laptop, you basically connect to the application, and through the application, it will connect to the database for any of your day-to-day transactions. Yeah. So you have a traditional form services called Oracle Application Server and also Oracle Fusion Middleware. Oracle Fusion Middleware is nothing but the WebLogic. In the application tier, actually, there are two homes. Last week also we covered. In the application tier, there are two homes, one for the forms and the reports and one for the WebLogic server. And on the database, you have one home, which could be either 12C home or it could be the 19C home. So basically, there are totally 3 homes for us. So now from there, what he does is he covers one by one. Now in the application tier, what are the 4 things we have? We have the web services, we have the form services, we have the Java application services, and we have the concurrent processing server. So why not we understand what are the activities done by each of them? The first one is the web services. The web services include the following major components. So you have a web listener, you have a Java servlet engine. So the first thing what you access is the HTTP server. So you have an Oracle HTTP server, which is powered by Apache. Means Oracle basically has purchased the Apache and they given a name called Oracle HTTP server. And also you have for the Java servlet engine for different for different requests, Oracle WebLogic server. So, and Oracle E-Business is certified with Oracle WebLogic Server 10.36, which is part of the Fusion middleware. So, as part of the Fusion middleware, you have WebLogic installed. Actually, Fusion middleware, there are so many products, what we can say. So here we are using WebLogic Server. Similarly, Oracle Fusion middleware, there are so many components. Like for example, there is OID, Oracle Internet Directory, Oracle App, OAM. We have OTM, Oracle Transportation Manager. We have SOA. So you guys would have heard about all these products. So all of them comes with a middleware, comes with a WebLogic Server. Once they say Oracle Fusion middleware, you have to, once if they say Oracle Fusion middleware, then you have to say that it comes with a WebLogic Server. It comes with a WebLogic Server. So the web listener component. So yeah, this is we'll try to understand this first one, web listener. So we know that for example, even in Google, you say www.google.com. So there should be some Apache which is listening to your request. Similarly, here also the web listener components of Oracle HTTP server will accept your incoming requests for the particular URL from the cloud browser. If possible, the web server will service the request itself by returning the HTML to construct a simple web page. So maybe you're requesting a web page, the web server itself will process your request. So if the patch referred by URL needs advanced processing, then the listener will pass to the servlet engine, which contacts the database server. It all depends upon what you're trying to interact. If it is simple HTML page, yes, I will fulfill your requirement and will give the output. But if more than that, if you're going for maybe if you're going for advanced processing, maybe iProcurement, iStore, so maybe it has to pass to this servlet engine, and the servlet engine will connect the database server. So the big difference is in 12.2, your Oracle WebLogic Server is integrated, is newly introduced in 12.2 onwards. So as we have seen in the application tag, one is HTML based, okay. One is the HTML based and one is the forms based. So there are two things. So should we really understand all this? Yeah, at a high level you need to understand. But from a Oracle E-Business DBA perspective, our work is only to apply the patches. Apart from that, there is something called HTML base. That's all you need to understand. Okay, there is something like a forms. But apart from that, we don't need to know much about it. Just at a high level, if you know, that is enough, because we have so many other activities which we need to know. So the one is HTML based. Formerly it was called self-service application. They do not use forms, right? There are some like iProcurement, iExpenses, anything starting with iStore, iSupplier. So these are all like basically an HTML based applications performing different tasks for you. So they basically use the HTML document, JavaScript, JSPs, Java Beans, servlets. So do we really need all this to learn? No, absolutely no. So no apps DBA knows anything about HTML or JavaScript or JSPs or Java Beans or servlets, because in an organization, when it comes to Oracle E-Business, there are separate development team for different things. There is a development team, there is a technical team, there is an apps DBA team, there is a project manager team. So we belongs to a different team called Oracle E-Business Database Administrators. So our activity is not to work on any of these activities. So the web pages are generated and stored as XML documents in metadata service in the database. Okay, so the web pages are generated and stored as XML documents in the metadata service. Wonderful. They dynamically generate HTML pages using the XML document and the Java code. They use the metadata dictionary for flexible and customizable layout, operate by the direct connection to the web server. So this is what is HTML pages. There is something like an iExpense. I'll give a simple example to make it more interesting, like iExpenses. So say, for example, you are working for a company and your employees are going to different places, and they have to feed in the expenses. They may travel, they may fly, they may book a flight ticket, they may stay in a hotel. So these are all expenses, right? So there is a iExpenses interface by which they can fill in the information. And once they fill in the information in this HTML base, they will send that particular request to their manager, and the manager will approve or reject it. So that is a simple example of a HTML based application. So we have different components with respect to HTML. So it's called Oracle Application Framework. So there's a separate team who will be working on all this. So Oracle Application Framework is a Java-based application development and deployment platform for HTML-based application. So, and it consists of various components. So absolutely, as I told you, it is only at a theoretical point of view. We really don't need to do. We really don't need to do any of this. So don't get panicked. What is all this new terms? Business components for Java, Oracle WebLogic servers, Java controller, metadata, UI dictionaries, and UIX HTML generator. So these are all the different components of Oracle Application Framework, and this is a separate development team for who will be working on these components who knows Java. There is a separate team who will be working on the forms and reports. So these are all the development team work who will be working on these components. They know this J developer to basically create the servlets and all, right? And here they are given a small flow. How does this Oracle application framework processing will work? So he has given this step. So it is basically 1 to 2. From the 1, it goes to the web listener. From web listener, it goes to the WebLogic server. From WebLogic server, it goes to the metadata definition. And from there is a BCJ4 application that will be, that request is sent to Java. Why not we read this? Okay. So what happens is, these are all the end user. What is he doing? So the end user is on a laptop machine. So the user clicks the hyperlink of a function from a browser. That is the first step. Now what happens? The browser makes a URL request to the web listener. So there is something like a web listener who listens his request. So that is the second step. And now third step. So that the WebLogic server validates user access to the page. Basically, it validates username, password, and all. It will validate. Then we have a page definition called metadata UI definition. Is loaded from the metadata repository on the database tag into the application tag. So basically, this you are accessing, trying to run a query. So the metadata definition is sent to the metadata dictionary. Basically, it takes the record and it brings to this. So then there are some BC4J objects that contain the application logic. So ultimately, so after there may be some business logic. So that is taken care by this BC4J objects. And there is a Java controller programmatically manipulates the page definition as necessary based on some dynamic rules. And also there is something like a UIX generator which interprets this particular page definition, creates the corresponding HTML page, and returns to the end user. So this is a basic flow how it happens when you are using an Oracle application framework for a HTML based product. So similarly, how it happens now, what happens is we covered HTML based thing. So now we'll cover what happens these form services. So these form services were there from very traditional, like 10.7. 10.7 was, if you take back, I think Sridhar and all, we know, we were way back in 1997. I think that was the first version. Bhagat, you may be knowing 10.7, still remember. And then in 2003, 1103. 1103 was I worked from 1103 onwards. 1103 was like 2002, 2003, 1103 they came. Then the version came is 11.5.10. Okay. So 11.5.10 was a good version. So that became stabilized, and then they released 12. Then after the 12, they released 12.1. Then they released 12.2. But whatever they have done, they never changed this forms and concurrent processing. The forms, reports, and concurrent processing server, they are never changed. Only the versions would have changed, but they have never removed it. Why? You can ask me why is the reason. The reason is it is totally stabilized product, right? Like, it is totally stabilized. They cannot suddenly remove it and replace it with something new, because it took 20 years for them to make it stabilize. And now one fine morning, they cannot suddenly remove this the entire thing. So that's the reason they just kept it like that only. So we have these form services are managed by the Fusion middleware server, Oracle e-business 12.2 certified with Oracle Forms 10.1.3. So the form services component hosts the Oracle e-business forms and the forms runtime engine. So there is something like a forms, and also there is something called a runtime engine. Acting as the engine of the Oracle e-business suite forms-based interface, the forms engine component mediates the communication between the desktop tier and the database tier. It manages the display information to the client browser. You will have like purchase order. Simple example is a purchase order. Wherever applicable, the form service component caches the data and provides it to the client as needed. For example, the feature is used when scrolling. So normally what happens is once you access a form service, for example, we'll take a simple example like a invoice. Invoice. So invoice is like a master detail. Like you will have a sales order number. You will have a sales order number, which is a master copy. And here you'll have a detail. Here it means for the sales order, you may be having many orders. If you take a purchase order, if you take a sales order, if you take a invoice, so the sales order will be like, for example, even you go to Amazon and you give an order. So you'll have only one order number. You in Amazon, you're going to place some orders. The order number is only one, but you may be ordering many items. You may order one or you may order many. So what is the use of this form services? Basically, it caches the data. So you may scroll down. So basically, it caches this information. That's what he's telling. So wherever applicable, the form services component caches the data and provides it to the client as needed. Like for example, when you're trying to scroll on a multiple orders. So by default, form services in the Oracle e-business suite are provided by Forms Listener Servlet. So there is something called a Forms Listener Servlet, a Java servlet that delivers the ability to run Oracle Forms over HTTP or HTTPS connection. It hosts the Oracle e-business forms and associate runtime engine, mediating the communication between the desktop tier and the database tier. Right. And any changes, what you do, you do the changes on the application, and that will be saved in the database if you save it. So how is this architecture of forms? We have seen there are two interfaces. One is the HTML interface and one is this forms interface. We have already seen the HTML flow. Now what we'll do, we will see what is the flow from the form services. So you have a client which runs the presentation. You have a logic, maybe in form of procedures, packages. So user interface logic, application server runs the UI logic, and also in the database server, which optimizes the performance and workflow, you have a data intensive logic. All this is stored here. So basically, we have a three tier. This is the client applet located on the desktop. The user passes the information to the application tier by entering the text or a click button. Maybe you access a query, maybe you access a invoice. Then the application tier hosts the user interface logic that determines the response needed when the user initiates an action. For example, they may open a new window, run a query, or populate a relate. So what is the user interface will be doing? What are the end user will be doing? Either they may query a record or they may enter a new record. Most of the people, the end users, they may feed the data through they will have an interface by which they feed the data, or they may query the data. So all for an old customer. For example, you take a banking example. So some customer goes to the bank. So there may be some existing customers who come to the bank. So they may have to open a new account, right? They may have to open a new account. So that's a new record for them. Or some existing, if the existing customer comes, it's like a query. Or if you're opening a new account, it's a new record. So these are the two things which will be happening in any organization, and all of this is stored in your database. So once you feed the data, the data is now stored in the database server. Now comes to the Java application server. We have seen the web services, we have seen the form services. Now we come to the Java application servlets. So the Java application service consists of Java 2 Platform Enterprise Edition, J2E, Web Application, OA Core, OAFM, Forms, and Form C4 WS services. So basically, there are 4 applications and they provide the core functionality for the Oracle E-Business Suite managed by the Java code. So in earlier releases, actually we had OA Core, OAFM forms, and forms were part of OC4J and were managed by OPMN. So in the 12.1.3, we had something called OPMN, which was managing all of this. But from 12.2, OC4J has been replaced by your WebLogic server, which manages all of these four. That is a big difference, big architecture difference from the old version and the latest version. And these services are now deployed on the WebLogic server. So basically, in short, your OA Core, OAFM forms and forms are now been deployed on the WebLogic server. The deployment of the web application is explained. That's fine. So normally in the companies, right, most of the issues you'll be having with the OA code. So sometimes it comes down. You may have to bounce. Sometimes you have to increase the cache size. So by default, if I'm correct, it is I think it is 500 GB. So normally we give 2 GB to 4 GB. Sometimes we add a new OA core. So OA core 1 is there on the same machine. You can add another OA core. So which I'll be covering. We can add another OAFM. We can add another OA forms. So if you have a good memory in your system, there is absolutely you can add new OA cores. So finally, your reporting needs, your batch and programs. So those things are being covered by this concurrent processing server. So you basically feed the data in the web services, you feed the data, the form services, you feed the data, and they'll be stored in the database server. But basically, you need to get the output from that. So those things are taken care by your concurrent processing server. Most user interactions with Oracle E-Business are conducted by via HTML or forms. So basically, these two are for the data entry things. However, there will be supporting, there will be reporting needs and updating programs. So you may be running a report, or you may be updating some programs, may need to be run either periodically or on ad hoc basis. Maybe you want to run in the midnight, or some, it is dependent on some other programs. So you may want to schedule it. So as these programs may require a large number of computations, they are run in the background. So any concurrent processing server program will be run in the background with a priority such that the work of the interactive is not impeded. Such programs are called concurrent processing server. So if there is a lot of reporting needs, you can run on a separate concurrent processing server. Or in some of the company where we are working, so we have two application tiers. So we have two application tiers, and we distributed these concurrent managers. So we have few managers running here and few managers running here. So what is this thing called? What is this thing called? Distributing the managers. What is the concept called? Anyone?
Parallel PCP.
Yeah, it is called PCP. PCP. So as an apps DBA, you need to know how to configure it. Adding the what I told in the previous section, adding the OA cores is also comes under things. Adding the custom manager also comes under your role only. So so as an advanced apps DBA, we need to know how to add a node. See, if you see here, this is adding a node, then configuring PCP. Of course, not now. Eventually, for 4 to 5 weeks from now onwards, we'll be performing all of these activities. Then finally, database server. Database server, nothing much. Only your customer data is particularly stored here. So the place where I worked, it was initially 12c on their on-premises. Then we moved to Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, OCI. So where we moved to 12c and upgrade from 12c to 19c. That's the trend going on everywhere, because 12c is almost expired. Okay. So for some other customer, we moved to AWS. Means on-premises also was in 19c database. So they wanted to move to AWS for whatever reasons. So we just moved as it is. There is no upgrade involved there. In AWS, we have installed a compute instance. Okay. VM, we have created a VPC. On top of it, we created a compute instance. So whatever is the memory in their on-premises, based on that only we create an EC2, they call. On the AWS, they call EC2. So we created an EC2 instance, and we just as it is we moved it and we brought up the database. So in short, you need to understand that your entire database stores the data, right? So it will store your particular data in that. Right. So this is again coming to a detail, like as I told you, there are totally 3 homes. So on the database tier, you have 1 home. On the application tier, you have 2 homes. So every apps DBA needs to know that there are totally 3 homes. Why I need this? Because tomorrow they may tell you to apply a patch, a database patch, or an application patch. So there are different types of patches. So few patches are very specific to the Oracle home. Few patches are very particular to the application tier. So why is it to showing these 3? So sometimes you may have to apply the patch on the home. So for applying a patch on the Oracle home, you may have to shut down the database, and it is applied by OPatch. So in this case, you may have to apply the patch in OPatch. In this case, you may have to apply the patch on the using OPatch. So for this, it could be BSUSH because it may be on the WebLogic server. Right. So that's the reason why we need to know that there are totally 3 homes. And apart from that, there is something called application patches. So those patches you can apply using ADOP. So no need to worry, you will not going to apply the patches directly on the production. So in most of the organizations, you'll have 3 phases, something like a development UAT, some people call development, test, UAT, production. So you will not apply a patch on a production. You go through different phases. You apply the patch on the development, then you apply the patch on the UAT, and then you apply the patch on the in the production. So right. So that's the way how we go in most of the organizations, right? So now we will try to understand the Oracle Homes architecture. So we have a database component, and here this is the application tag, and this is the middleware where you have the HTTP server for HTTP request. Plus, apart from that, as he told, we have a WebLogic server running, which will be performing your forms, OA core, OAFM, OAE. This is for the SSO in particular. OAE managed server. These are all called the managed server. So there is something, every WebLogic server will have an admin server. We'll have an admin server and we have a managed server. So these are all the managed servers. We'll have the managed servers. So you have another home called 10.1.2 where your forms are running. So what it does is basically your forms is being moved here, and it will that is the runtime for you. So why not we read little bit more this? So replacement in the earlier version, we have something called Oracle Application Server. Replacement of Aura AS 10.2 based Oracle Home with Fusion middleware. So earlier it was called Oracle Application Server. Now it is called the Fusion middleware. The database also utilizes something called edition-based redefinition, which we are going to discuss not now. In the further topics, mostly next week, we are going to discuss what is this edition-based redefinition. In most of the interviews, they will be asking you what is this edition-based redefinition, what are the new changes in 12.2, WebLogic. You may have to tell the WebLogic. So see, most of the things we are covering here, they will be asked in the interview to understand how much of architecture knowledge you have on the Oracle e-business. So in the earlier releases, we had something called OPMN, which used to manage this OA core, OAFM forms, and all this, which are managed by where OPMN. But now those are all managed by your WebLogic server, the Fusion middleware. So so OAE is not shipped by default based on a requirement. This is very particular to this Oracle e-business access gate. So right now it doesn't comes by default. Only when required you can start this managed server. All the managed services are started out of the Fusion middleware. The Oracle e-business module packaged in the file of forms app EF are deployed on the deployed out of 10.1.2, and the forms web exe file is invoked out of this Oracle home. So basically what it does is, all the forms, are being like in EAR file, they are being moved to your middleware, right? That is what here if is
So can you just scroll down to the screen?
Yeah.
Scroll up. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So in the middle tier, we have only admin server. All of these are
Managed
managed
servers.
servers.
Managed servers.
Okay.
All these are managed servers.
So only admin server will be there whenever there is WebLogic.
Any WebLogic comes with a managed server. We will come with the admin server and the managed server.
Okay. On the right side, that 10.1 to Oracle Home, there are no admin servers or
No.
managed servers, right?
So this is an Oracle AAS, right? This is an Oracle AAS.
Correct.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and suppose, as he is talking about, suppose you have two application tiers, application tier 1 and application tier 2. Then also, how many admin servers will be there? How many admin servers will be there in this case? How many admins? If there are two application tiers, how many admin servers will be there? How many admins? Anyone?
Only one.
So yeah, even though you have 10 application tiers, you only have one admin server. But you will have managed servers here, managed servers here, managed servers here, managed servers here, managed servers here. But you only have admin server is the only one.
So the main admin server will be running
on the
primary node.
On the primary node, you will have. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Right. So you see, if in every slide is giving the importance, of different Oracle homes. So again here on the database, you have the database home. It is 19C or it could be 12C. You have a technology stack. This is the middle tier. You have the WebLogic server and Oracle application server. The Oracle application server is the home for the forms and the reports. Your WebLogic server we have, and then the products. So what are the products? Products could be account payables, account receivable, general ledger. All these are called the products. So you have to go. You have an operating system. Above that, you have a database. Above that, you have an application, and above that, these are all the products. Right. Right. Okay. So yeah. So we'll just take a small break on this, and we'll cover this part. So in the meantime, we'll just So we have.
Sir, can you hear me? Hello.
Yeah, Sumit.
No. This guy Keshav, what he told, say you have got a external node, right? We'll have, as you said, that admin server, meaning if we distribute as per the PCP, my concurrent processing on 2 or 3 internal server. But if I'm having an external server, right, like iSupplier, whatever, in that case, my admin will be separate. It can't be one.
No.
You're getting
No. I don't know. Even though you have iSupplier or anything, the admin server is only one, because you're adding a node. When you add an iSupplier, how you're doing? You're adding the node, and the database is only one.
Okay.
The database is only one, so it cannot have another admin server. So still, whether it is an iSupplier or whether it's a new application tier, the admin server will be only one.
Okay.
Yes. Admin server will be only one.
No, you mean
come. Because the reason
whether
is
it is the internal server or external server, the additional servers, there will be only one admin server. Yeah.
One admin server.
Okay. Yeah. One more question, but not related to this. Before the class end, that is the reason I actually joined. On security, sir. 1104. That lab I couldn't able to get. Where you got that lab?
1104. In the 1104, there are like 7 exercises. The first one are the video.
No, I wanted to, no, in the Oracle this thing link. I got student guides and all those, but lab I didn't saw. So that is the reason I thought to connect to understand from where you practiced. Yeah, that was the reason I joined.
I know. I have to thank you, because actually you were the person who motivated me to clear 1104. So
no 1104 I am done. This thing is done. Okay, and 997 I have to practice the lab. That lab I got. Okay, only for 1104.
Yeah, let me show that. Okay, so we'll just fulfill the request of Sumit. So you
I'm
connect
sorry,
here.
I'm interrupting. Yeah, other
Yeah, no
people
problem.
have
No problem. No
for
problem.
apps.
Hey, Sumit, you are not joining in this class?
He's joined. He's joined.
One-
He is now. He has the next 14 days. He has so many things to clear in his pipeline. Okay. Yeah, security.
One, this is right.
So then you click this.
Uh,
So there will be 2 labs what you are going to face in the exam.
you got 7, huh?
Yeah. Wait a minute.
So for WAF, you said one.
Yeah, one
this
is the
thing
WAF
there.
and one is the Bastion host. I told. Yeah. This is the one. This is the This is the no. Yeah, 1 minute.
Correct.
1 minute.
Practice
1
security.
minute.
Oh, Upar me. That one, huh?
Third one.
Professional
Third one.
Oracle.
Third one.
Okay.
From the top, the third one. So they will give
Acha.
third one. These are all the things. So I got this WAF and I got this Bastion. WAF and the
Okay,
WAF.
but we have to practice all, right? So
Yeah, you have to practice all.
have
You
to
have to
practice
practice all. Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
Similar for somebody in your team told. Now for 997, you got 2, and somebody
Yeah.
told 6. Huh?
I got 6 actually. I got 6, but our team, most of them got that only 1 they got.
That one VCN wala, that is
Yeah.
common, which I'm seeing in the notes, right?
Yeah.
VCN meaning your side, same
Cider
side,
engine.
same side
Yeah.
of plug. That one.
IPv6 conflict, IPv4 conflict.
Got it. Anyway, thank you. Thanks a lot, sir.
Right.
I
Okay.
will drop, sir. Bye. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so now last week we completed the installation. So we'll just I'll just show you how to start the application, how to start the database, how to start the application, and we'll just go through, and then we will continue. And also, any queries you guys are having also, this is the time. If you maybe if you want me to show again the staging, I can show you. So say first you need to start the database. Okay, so normally you can follow as a DBA how to start the database. So you start the LSNRCTL and the database name, and then you start your database. First, if there are 2 systems, mostly in the companies you will have database separate, you have application separate. In our case, we have put everything in one machine. Okay, so then you start the application. So here you can start all of them. Okay, you can start the entire application. It will ask you for the WebLogic password. So first you start the listener, you start the database, then you start the entire application. So the entire process will take like, you can say if somebody asks you to bounce the system, you can say it will take 45 minutes because you have to bring down and you have to see that concurrent processing servers are entirely down, and then you bring down the database, then you have to again bring it up. For some reason, they may ask you to bounce the entire thing. One of the requirement of an apps DBA is to bounce. So sometimes you may have to bounce everything, or sometimes they may tell you to only bounce the OPMN, the Apache bounce they may have to do. Sometimes you may have to only bounce concurrent processing server. Sometimes you have to bounce only OA core. So it all depends. So suppose you have to bounce OA core. Suppose you have to bounce OA core, you should not bounce the entire system, because that will take a longer time. If any senior apps DBA is there, they will catch you. We told you there's a problem with OA core, and instead of bouncing OA core, why are you bouncing the entire application? Similarly, suppose they say there's a problem with the concurrent processing server, right? So you only have to bounce the concurrent processing server. How do you know? How do you know to start and stop which one? So for example, you want to bounce OA core. So this is the stop. Instead of start, you give stop OA core, start OA core. Similarly, form services. So for every component, you have this. So how about concurrent managing server? Somebody says you to start and stop the concurrent manager. So you have to stop and you have to start.
Sir,
So-
if there is 4 OA core, like here OA core underscore server 1, normally in the environment there is 4 to 5 OA cores. Okay. So if there is 4 or 5 OA cores,
Correct.
how we want all OA core in one shot? I mean,
I will share that command. I'm doing at my organization. Yeah. I know. Actually, not only that question. Suppose there are 2 application tiers. How do you stop all and how do you start all? That also, I will share that. I'll share that command. Okay. Let me see if at all I have, because maybe I'm working on the client place I have. Let me see if at all I copied that command. I'll show. Otherwise, I'll show it tomorrow sometime later. So I just stop the sharing. Okay, so I started the application.
because sir, in 12.1.3 it's simple command, okay?
Yeah, right.
But 12.2 is little bit changed.
Yeah. Correct. I do agree. I do agree that. Right. Okay. Yeah. Maybe I'll share that right now. I have to thing, but I'll share that. Okay. So yeah. So where is my application? The application is still getting started. If you see my, let me share my command. Right. So in our company, what we have is, we have like, let me share that how we have designed our things. The n number of times I will talk, because if you are working on some environment, right, it becomes for you to very easily tell, because every day we will be doing this application. So there are 2 application tiers. Okay, there are 2 application tiers, and we only have one database, that is also a file system. It was initially ASM, but we have changed to a file system, and PCP is configured. And here also we have we don't have one OA core, we have 2 OA cores. We added a new OA core, and I normally, what we do, any patching thing activity, we only do everything from the first node. Automatically it will apply to the slave node. We don't need to go we don't need to really go to this, and we implemented FSS because of the shared file system. This is on the this is on the Oracle application, OCI or Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. FSS is like a shared services. So entire code is available here, right? And you can either you can stop this application and this application, or I have another command by which we stop all the services. From here only we'll stop everything. So the advantage of that command is it's like add all nodes, something like that. There is an extra added at the end. I will share the exact command. But if you stop, what happens is one command will stop everything and one command will start everything. So that way we handle it, right? So see, it is how much time? Almost already 10-15 minutes is over. So it is stop. It is it is starting all the services. It is starting. This is a base 12.2. It is just like a base 12.2. So now, if you see, each of these are like, we can easily understand this is an admin server. Okay, this is the concurrent manager. ADCM CTL means it is starting the concurrent manager. So it will also has a listener. On the application also you have a listener. On the database also you have a listener. So these are all the node manager. This is the HTML, the OPMN. Sometimes if at all we want to bounce, we will bounce using OPMN CTL start. Right. So it means that first it is starting the admin server. If you see the last command, it is starting the admin server. Only when admin server is started, it will start the managed servers. So admin server has to be started to start the managed server. If you see, as of now, it has not started any managed server. So still it is starting the admin server, and then it start the managed server. So this is the basic. This is the way how. This is the way how you start and stop. So they were Kunwar and Syed. You know, you guys were having issues. How far we reach, Syed? Let me take up with Syed. You're there, Syed? Not this Syed. Not Syed Badruddin. There is another Syed.
Syed from Saudi. Syed from Saudi.
Yeah, Syed from Saudi is not there. Okay. Then we have Kunwar. Kunwar, you also had some issues, right? How far you reached? You're there or you're gone with some other activity? Yeah, this guy also should have gone to some other activity. Okay. That's fine. So yeah, maybe yeah, once you're online, you can tell me. So this is the way how you start and stop your application tab, right? So this was what I wanted to show. So today, this week, as I promised, so we'll also cover, multi-node, 2-node installation. Anything more than one node is called a multi-node installation. Now what we did is a single node installation where your database and your applications are on the same machine. But in most of the organization, as I told you, you will have database in one node and you will have application on another node. So as I told you, this is like if you cover like 80 to 90% of the customers are in this one. So they will have a database node and this is you have an application node. So today we'll also kickstart. We cannot do both of them. We have to start the database. Database has to be up. Database has to be up. Only when database is up, you have to clone. You have to do the installation of the application tab. So here also we have to run installer. Here also we have to run installer. Here also you need to run installer. First time you have to run the RapidViz from here. Not run install RapidViz. From here also you have to run RapidViz, and from here also you need to run RapidViz. Okay, so how do you do the installation? Okay, how do you do the installation? One is like you can have 2 VMs. You can have 2 virtual machines. So if you see, there are a couple of ways how you can do. You have to practice this one also. So you have to practice this one also. So one is you can have multiple VMs, application tier, database tier you can have. Or since in my case, my host machine is also Linux, right? My host machine is Linux, and my host machine is Linux, right? So that is ERP12. What is this? So my 192.168.1.23. I think both are same names again. Okay. Right. So my host machine I can use for a database tier, and what I'll do, I will change this host name. I will change this host name. So basically, once this started, I will just remove everything. So what I'll do, my host machine I'll use as a one node, which is nothing but ERP R12. So this is my host machine, and in the host machine I have a guest machine, right? So this one, what I'll do, I'll give a name called. I'll just change the host name. Okay. APP R12. We'll change the name. Okay. Whatever is my single node instance is installed, right? I'll just I'll just remove it. Because I no longer need it, right? So this is my host machine where I will install the database, and this is my where my single node is installed. So I will remove. I'll wipe out it. Since I showed you single node, how to start and stop, I no longer need it. Only that I need to change the host name to APP-R12. So what I'll do, how do you change the host name? So host name, right? So by this command, you can simply change the host name. So this will tell you what is the current host name and what is the new host name you want. So I want app.r12.appsdba.info. That's it. Host name is changed. So now what you can do, you can open the etc host file, and yeah, so this one globally will change percentage yes. Wherever ERP-R12 is, just change to R12, apps R12, apps R12, apps R12 dot.
This command is very good when without bouncing the server, you only directly change the host name.
Directly host name, yes. So we also should have the entry of the database node here, okay? Because this is the application tire, and application tire need to connect to database tire. So you make the entry of the database. The database is nothing but what is that? ERP-R12.appsdba.info. ERP-R12.appsdba.info. Okay. So that's all. What you do, you just save this, and reboot is not necessary, but still I'm just I have to wipe out the old application also. I'm just rebooting, and then I'll remove the old application. Right? So
right now we have one database tier and application tier, but this one we are adding, right, sir?
No, we are not adding. We are not adding. First, what I'll do, how I want to do is, last week we did single node installation. So now what we'll do, we'll have database on a separate node and application separate node. And next week, next week what we'll do, we'll add another application tag. So next week I'll show you how to add a node. But today, last week we only did what we did. We have only one machine, and here we had our database and the application. So that is completed. Now we'll have second phase is separate, database is separate, and application is separate.
So we are installing both the database and applications
on a separate missions. Oh, okay,
cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
So this is my host mission, and this is my guest mission. So whichever way you want to do,
So database right now we did not install anything, right, sir?
Yeah, the single node is there. Today
these two things.
Today nothing is there. Nothing is there. So okay, so let me come to the nodes also. We have R12, 12.2 student, first week, and others, 2 node installation. So this week your exercise is 2 node installation. How to perform a 2 node installation. So what you have to do is, this is a high level. So you have a database tier on my host machine. You have to run the rapid wizard. Okay, you have to run the rapid wizard, and you have to complete the database installation. And then you have to tomorrow only we can do this, because one at a time we can do. Right? So first you run the rapid wizard and you complete it, and next you run the again you need to run the rapid wizard. And what you do when you are running the database tier, right? It creates a file called configuration prod text file. So this one you'll copy from the database to the application tier, and you point it, and you complete the application tier configuration. So that way you do. And also the host entry, the database should talk to the application. Application has to talk to the database. We will first see whether we are able to talk. So let me connect to the application node. So now we change the host name, right? See. So from the application, am I able to connect to database? Okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, like this again. Okay, I didn't give the alias name. Yeah. So just remove the alias. The last one is the alias name. So we just want like this. So similarly, I'll take this application and copy it to the. In the real time, if it is DNS registered, they will take care of everything. We don't need to worry. See, now I'm able to connect to database node. Now I'll go to the host machine and give the.
Sir,
Yeah.
instead of host machine, can you call it as database now?
Yeah. Now the host machine is nothing but the database.
Yeah, because it will be confusing.
Yeah. So I'll not call this. So the database machine. So first we'll start with the database installation. So for that, what I'll do, I'll connect to the VNC.
And can you make the ping also from here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So from the database machine, am I connecting to application? I'm not able to connect. Okay. So it is apps R12. See, I'm able to connect.
Yeah.
So this is the 23. Huh? Okay. So now where I need to plan myself. Okay. I need to plan myself. One of the very important thing is okay, so your inventory location. You have to give inventory location. And also you need to, at least for the database, you need around 100 GB free space. Okay, so this space is enough. We have like close to 200 GB. So what I'll do, I'll make it little bit more, just to understand for our sake. It may not be real time, it will be, but I'm making to make it very simple. I'm making it as 2-node directory where I will install the data 2-node. Okay. Okay, and let me add a user called user add. Okay, user add like 2-node. Minus in the real time it will be not like that, but just to make it comfortable, I'm just making it. Okay, and we'll change the owner. Okay, right, and this will be your inventory location because inventory is mandatory before you start the inventory. If you don't take care, you will be, it will be very costly for you, especially in 12.2 onwards, the inventory. So you should not have many entries. Okay, you should not have many entries. You should have only one entry. So now that is only the first one is the whatever is uncommented. That is the one which is that is the one which is open now. Okay, so now you connect to
inventory. Inventory we are giving for the both nodes in database side and application side.
We have to give both for database and application. We need to give the inventory. Yes. So now you create the inventory is important, right? Because based on the inventory only, it knows like what patches we have installed and everything. Okay, so this is the location where we are going to do the on installation of the database. Okay.
So this is database side and application side also we have to go.
We'll see the data application also. So application, what we'll do first, we will wipe out the
create the user.
We'll create the user, and first I will remove this old one. The single node installation, I am totally removing the entire folder, prod folder. It's gone. Okay, it's gone. Then I'll create a folder called 2-node.
Can you check the file size, like how much space there in the?
D01 I have sufficient 100 GB free space is there, but now I'm removing this, so so that will take care of it. Okay. The change owner. So we need to create a user called user add 2-node -g DBA change owner 2-node DBA. Now take care of the inventory. All this, right? The repetition. Anyone agrees or not agrees? Repetition. If you repeat an activity every day, then it will go in our head. That is the only way. That's what they say, right? Practice makes things perfect. So if you do every day, you will be happy. See, now we removed this, so you'll have a lot of space. Yeah, around 224 GB is there. So here we are going to install the application tag. So we have taken care about the, we have taken care about the inventory. Only that here it is D01, there it is D02. That doesn't matter. We can take care of it. Okay, but we'll kickstart.
So we have to create Aura inventory directory also.
Yeah. We have to create the inventory also. So what you do, you connect as to node and create that folder. Yes, that is good. Yeah. So basically, both have to talk to each other. First, you have to install database. Only when database is installed, you will install the application. And also, once the database installation is completed, you will have a file. You will have a configuration file. You will have a configuration file. That file you need to copy from the database NIDE to the application. That one we will see tomorrow only, because today only we can complete the database installation. Okay. So now what I'll do. So now I'm connected to my database machine. I'm connected to my database machine, from where I have to start the database installation. So what I'll do, I'll open a terminal. Now I'm at my database machine. Okay. So I need to search where is my software. So my software. It should be here only. Yeah. So in the start CD. So when the staging is good, right, you can use for multi-purposes. You can use for multi-purposes. So the same software can be used for single node. The same software can be used for multi-node. So now we have to install the database, right? So same thing. You go here.
This 27 files we put in the database side, and 27 files we put in the application side.
No. You create the staging. So not 27 files. Now what you need is, you need these 4 folders. The 27 files is only to create a staging, right? So what happens is, you get 4 folders. You get 4 folders. So one is like you get stage CD, one you get tech install, tech patches, so and EBS install media. These 4 folders you need. So on the database also you need, on the application also you need. On the application, what I do, I'll mount it. On the application, I will not copy again. I'll just mount this staging folder.
The staging folder is in the database tier.
Yeah, right now the staging folder is on the database tab. Okay. So the first time.
Question, sir.
Yeah.
Do we need to apply any RPMs?
Oh, that has been taken care, right? No, that one. That is, all the patches are already applied. That required patches, with the Yum utility, we already applied all the patches.
The RPMs are for OS level, right, sir?
At the OS level, at the operating system level, we already applied all the patches last week. Remember last week, Yum utility, all the.
For DB purpose, any other new RPMs needed or no need?
Only if you install 19C, you have to install some separate patches. If you are installing 19C. Yeah, now new thing came up. Yum install.
And also, while removing the application directly.
Why?
So is there any deinstallation process we need to follow, or just how we gonna remove that?
If you see that I removed the entire folder. What I did, I went to D01 Oracle, I removed the entire folder. So the entire thing is gone for me. Nowhere. So I don't have anything about that. So that is why what I do, I keep everything in one folder, and I'll wipe out. There is nothing like deinstallation procedure. I just remove the folder, and you can go to the temp and also remove the thing. Suppose you're trying to do a reinstallation, you can go to the temp folder and you can wipe out everything. I think if these 2 are removed, I think you should be fine.
In the real time, how we gonna do this? Is there
In the
any
real time,
process to follow?
in the real time also, I'm going to follow the same process. I just remove the, suppose some folder I have to remove, I remove the entire folder, and this temp, I'll remove everything. So that's gone. Okay. However, for new instance, I'm going to create a new user. So that way the old thing will never conflict, will not come into a picture. But this is a procedure. You go by with my words. I just remove the entire folder. It's gone. There is nothing like you run installer and or RapidWiz. There is nothing like a deinstallation, nothing like that. Not like your universal installer where you remove anything, nothing like that. I just wipe out that. Just like how you clone. How you clone? When you are cloning, what you do on the cloned machine, you remove all the folders, right? The same way you follow here also. Okay. So now the first time you need to create a configuration. We are installing the database. So say for example, I go with 15 and 16. So 8015 and 8016. Okay. So I say next. So we'll go with test only. And I'll just give a name to make it very simple. We'll just give 2node, and this also owner is changed. So we'll give 2node. Okay, and this one is not D01, but it is D02 on the database tag. Okay, so this is D02. This is the user. This is the one. This is the host machine. Yeah. So this is my instance name. This is my instance name. So these are all just to take the just the defaults you take. Now it will ask you for the application details. So here you need to change the host name because application is not installing on the same machine. So you say apps R12. No, apps R12, and the owner is 2node. And here you're not storing on D02, you're storing in D01.
Spelling 2node is spelling.
Right. So here you're not storing in D02, but you're storing in D01. So you can change here itself, because sometimes in application you may be storing separate, and on database you may be storing in separate folders. So you can change it. You have the freedom to do.
The same thing with the spellings, and apologies.
Again the cable. Oh, good one. Good. So you guys are focusing what am I typing, which is good. So I have to do some mistakes, which is good. Okay. So it will not ask anything. This is grayed out. So this is all grayed out. So when you're configuring the application, you can give. Right now they are all grayed out. So no, you don't need now. So now, see now, it will do a test. Actually, what it does is it does a complete testing, like whether I'm able to, all the packages are installed on the database, whether all the packages are installed on the application. It will ping. It will ping also. See, it is also ping. See, it is pinging here. So that's the reason why we need to, we need to have the entries. We need to have the entries in the host file. So yeah, this week we will see 2node. Next week we'll see how to add a new application tag. So we'll also configure PCP. Every week we'll be having some interesting thing. After that we will slowly we'll configure our RAC installation. I'll be not covering the theory part, but I'll be showing you how to do the installation on we'll go with Oracle Enterprise Linux 8. I successfully completed. So I'll show that how to do that. So then we'll see slow by slow. We'll work on that. But parallelly, parallelly we'll be covering the theory parts. Theory part, like because by the time you do an upgrade, your patching, cloning, all of them you should be complete. All these topics will take like 5 weeks for you. ADOP, auto config. So after 5 weeks, you will be ready to do. After 5 to 6 weeks, you'll be ready to do anything. See, you are completed. I think this is the same error. I think our Syed also got. Some of the mandatory prereqs are not met. Okay. See, this type of challenges what we get. We'll try to see what is the problem. Okay. Copy this and go to the see, when your error comes, right? So this is the way how you trouble. Okay, limits. Okay. So so if you see this, what you do, you come to a failed which are critical. Okay. How do you debug an issue? So most of them are successful, but only one limits have failed. Okay. Yeah. Okay. This is the only thing what. One is ETC security limits. Oh, okay. So limits.config file is missing. So that's the reason. So we just have to identify. How do you know? Because yeah, max file descriptor is not. That's the reason, right? So now what you do, my document, right? If you go back, install document. We have taken care we have taken care on the guest machine, but not on the source machine. So now you go back, connect as to the. You have to connect to the and go back, right, and go and make these entries, hard and soft keys. Okay, so I don't know. Yeah, I think that should be the thing, because based on the errors, any other thing? No. Yeah, no problem. So we'll again recheck. See, this is the errors what we get. I told you, the more the error you get, the more the errors you face, and you resolve them, the more experience you become. That's the bottom line with respect to this this database world, or I can say IT world also. The more mistakes you do, the more or the more tougher the client. On a lighter note, the more tougher the client.
Scared of errors.
Yeah, see,
Scared of errors.
yeah, but that's the thing. If you are scared of the errors, we cannot avoid this. So we need to fight on that. See, now recently we also moved from AWS, and there are some performance issues. So that scare is there. Everyone either is a junior or a senior. Sometimes it'll be there, but still we need to have some courage and know how to face. And the only way is, as I told you, repetition and repeating the same activity, and learning from experience, and eventually the fear will go away. The fear will go away. That's the only way how you do. So that's the reason why you think that I'm like training every time, not only to teach all of you. Even I have to get upgraded every year. I take up 6-7 topics which I'm actually working.
Okay.
Yeah, so the more you practice, the more you learn, and any opportunity comes, any troubleshooting activity comes, don't do anything. At least watch what's happening. And if you have found a solution, what you do, you just the good thing is, what I do is, like this. I prepare, for every client, right? I prepare a list of hey, this is the problem, this is the solution, this is the problem, this is the solution, this is the problem, this is the solution. See, for every company, actually, I work for a company called Inspiraj. Okay, now I'm not working, so that's why I'm openly showing all this. So I worked in an Inspiraj, and for different company, I can tell you the client name also: Apollo, Caravana. Now they are not going to touch anything because I'm not working for that company. Gibson. So these are all my clients. So what I do, every day I learn something from them. I learn something, and what I do based on the client, each client, okay, this is the performance issues I had. Sometimes I learn on my own. Sometimes you learn from others also. There may be some experienced people who will be working on something, and they may resolve it, but you have to make an inventory of all the issues. So as you maintain the inventory, it becomes like a Bible, like a whatever you think. It becomes like a Bible for you, and you should be like an engine. Tomorrow, if the same issue comes up, you should be able to resolve it. So if you don't maintain them, then what happens is you are not learning anything. I whatever maybe, first thing is, if I know, okay, if I solve it, or I'm going to maintain it. But if other people solve, they'll be sending an email, right? So that screenshots and everything, I'll just capture it, because it's a learning. So maybe tomorrow, at one customer place, you may be an observer, but some other customer place, you may have to implement. Like, for example, I was working with some Australian guy on this SSL implementation on the Ubuntu. I never worked on Ubuntu. So he has given all these comments. I'm not sure when it will come. Maybe tomorrow some other place I may get. So one thing is, you have to maintain them. So that way, what happens is, if you have list of issues of hundreds to 200 issues you have in your kitty, in your inventory, right? So then you become back an experience. Yeah. So then you can see now.
Can I say something, sir?
Yeah.
Yeah, just for all of them. But yeah, I do follow Kishore sir since 2008. Now, the same thing what Kishore sir follows. Even a small error, I resolve and I note it. I keep it. So since 2008, so it's been like 16 years. I
Correct.
made that kind of a dictionary problem resolve. So all I go is go to that notepad, search that word, right there you have a solution. So that is a mini Google for you. Over.
Exactly. That's the thing. DBA world is like that. See, we found a problem and I resolved the issue. But I know that is seeing the issue itself. I know that I could. That is the issue. Bulk, I fixed it. So the next one is, I maintain like this, and sometimes even I have my own website where I will be appsdba.info. So here also, right now I'm not putting a lot of content for whatever reason I need to put. But for some reason nowadays I'm only putting issues and problems, because whatever I face in my company, because if you have it's a website, right? So anywhere from any place you can access them. I'll just put a tag, see, DBA, do I need DBA? But still, yes, RMAN backup script to find the size. I found out that somebody, it is not one of my junior, one of my junior, I can tell, he has given a script to find the size of the backup. I liked it. With 25 years of experience, I found that this query gives me the backup script to find the size and time. I found it very interesting, and how much time still remaining. See, this one I found it very good. I need backups are running. Okay, R1 backups are running. How much time still is running? So somebody has shared me. So I thought that, okay, why not I put it and I need to know the throughput. How much is the throughput when the backups are running. So like this, you maintain in a website, you maintain in your maintain at your Google, maintain your Word, you could maintain in a notepad, anywhere. But tomorrow, if the same thing comes up, you should be able to resolve. Okay, enough of Gyan. Okay, see now the database installation is happening. So this will take like 4 hours. And once the this thing is completed, so what we need to do is actually there is one config file. Now itself will copy. Okay, now itself will copy. Okay, so this config file, this config file on the database node will have complete configuration. It will have like, whatever we have entered something, while running the 2-node installation. We told how many hosts are there. There are 2 hosts. So this is my database node because we want only database. So we don't want application. That's why it's telling no, 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 no. So when you come little bottom, little down, now it will ask you for the application tag. So application tag. So I don't want to install database. I don't want to install database. I want to install all the applications. So that is why it is having all this. So this information has to be copied to the application tag. This information has to be copied. So what you do, you copy this as SCP root. Where I need to copy apps R12. Apps R12. So you can copy to any file and temp. Okay, so I copied this into the temp folder. Now tomorrow, after this database is installed, so what you have to do is, first we need to connect to the application tag. Okay, I am connected to the application tag, and I have to mount the software. Yeah. So I have to mount. One way is you can copy the software, but why you want to copy? So you can just mount it. If it is not working, so again you go to the host machine and say service NFS restart. Still it is not working. Yeah, see, okay, I just say Control C, and now the software is mounted. Okay, and also the configuration file is in the temp folder, and also the configuration file is the temp. Only these 2 you need. You need the complete software, and you need this configuration file. And now you are ready to tomorrow, not today, but I'm just showing you everything like what will happen. So on the application tag, after the database is installed, what you do, you again go to VNC and connect to the application tag, and you go to the software. Software is already mounted. Okay, software is already mounted. So go to the software folder and go to the start CD. So we don't need all the zip files actually. I think Sumit, Shahzad was asking. This is only for patching. These 27 files are for patching. So after patching, actually, if you want, you can remove this. You only need these 4 folders. Okay, now you run the Rapid Wizard. So you have to run the Rapid Wizard on the database tag, and on the you come to the application, again you run the Rapid Wizard. And what you have to do this time, right? What you have to do, you have to go and only a small change. You will not configure. You will not do the configuration. Configuration is only on the first machine, but you have to load. You will not do this. Now you say load, and wherever the the configuration file is there. So the configuration file is like /temp. Okay, so the configuration file is on like this. Okay, you say okay. So this is your configuration file, and now it will ask you what is the WebLogic password. You can give any password, whatever your password you are interested. And now OS password is asking, right? apps OS password. So now what you can do, you can change the no, what is the 2-node we are given, right? 2-node password. So that is the password what you want to change. I'm giving Oracle 12. Oracle 12. Okay. So now you give Oracle 12 and Oracle 12. See, now you should not give next. So if you give next, what happens is basically it looks whether your database is up or not, right? So database is not up. Okay, database is not up. That's why it cannot continue. So your database has to be installed, and this is the procedure. This is the procedure. So then your application will also be installed. This is the procedure. Everyone is clear how the how the database is installed, how a 2-node installation
Yes,
is
sir.
done. Everyone.
Yeah, it's clear, Kishore.
Yeah.
Sir, irrespective of application nodes, first we have to install
Database.
single application node only. First.
Yeah, then only you have to add a node actually. If you want to add another application tile, you have to add a node.
So we cannot make while installing.
No, it is
four.
removed. Yeah, that concept is removed. So
Okay.
you have to go by add node. I think Raj sir, hello sir, how are you? Major sir.
Hello, Kishore sir. Good morning, good evening.
Yeah, thanks for attending.
My California time is 6 in the morning, so it's
I'm supposed to call you Raj, sir, but I thought you are busy.
I generally we go to sleep a little late and get up in the morning is very difficult. So I said, today my dog woke me up. He says, he started crying. I said, okay, what do you want? So I came downstairs. So anyway, yeah, so good to start. Now I'll get up next time, being more motivated.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. Right.
So, Kishore,
Good.
What is this? I had a question. Apps OS user password and apps DB user password. So apps is apps.
Yeah, no. This is not. This is the OS password actually. This is the OS password. This is the whoever is installing that user password. APPLMGR, like APPLMGR password.
Okay. And DB.
Oh, this is the DB password. Okay. This is the bottom is the DB password. Sorry, this is the DB password. Apps. This is the DB password and this is the OS password. Good. This is the apps password and this is the OS password and this is the WebLogic
Apple
password.
Manager.
Yeah.
Like Apple Manager.
This is like an Apple Manager password. This is the apps password. This is the WebLogic password.
Got it. Okay. So for this, we need two machines or single?
Yeah. For this, actually, what we have done, we have already started the database machine, which is getting installed. Yeah. First, we have to install the database. So on my, so I'm installing the database. I think it is now step 1 of 4. So once
if we want to install it here, if I want to install it, I need 2 machines.
Yeah, either you can create 2 VMs. One for one for database and one for application. In my case, I have a host and my guest are both the Linux machines. So in that case,
I want to do that. I want to do that only, like have 2 Linux machines. I want to have.
So then you can create 2 VMs. Your host machine, I think it's Windows, right?
Yeah.
So in that case,
I'll get 2 Linux machines.
In that case, in your case, because your host machine is Windows machine, what you have to do, you have to create 2 VMs like this, like ERP rack 1, ERP rack 2. You have to create 2 VMs.
Right.
Yeah, so both will be Linux.
So you are doing now on the virtual?
Yeah, on my host machine, I'm installing the database, which is Linux, and on the I have created a VM. So there I'm installing the application.
Okay.
Yeah, so
you're doing it on the VM side.
Yeah, VM side. On the VM side, I'm installing the application tag.
Okay.
Sir. In this course, are we moving to OCI?
I have to see right now. I will let you know as the course goes, because for the 2 2 applications I may have to go because the load balancer, right? We don't have a load balancer concept. So at least for that I may have to go. I will let you know. Because we don't have a load
if you
balancer.
continue this will fulfill,
Yeah. Okay. Right. So what we'll do now, we'll come back because we have another 5-6 slides to be completed today. So we'll finish off that, and at least we have major part is completed. Yeah. So we have another 5-6 slides. Okay, 15 minutes time. 2 hours means 2 hours every weekend. So what we'll do, there are 4 or a couple of slides are there. We will try to understand. Okay. So we ended.
Do you have class tomorrow? Do you have class tomorrow?
Yeah, we have class every Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, 2 hours max.
Okay. 2 hours each. Okay, got it.
Right. So yeah, we covered the half of the architecture part. Now we'll cover the remaining half. So as we discussed, we have a database stack, and we have a technology stack, and we have a products. What are products? Like account payables, account receivables, and then a technology stack and database. Like these are the technology stack components and the database. So now we on the application side, and on the application tag, we have something called Oracle E-Business Suite technology layer. Above that we have a family. So Oracle E-Business Suite technology layer. The Oracle E-Business Suite technology layer is integrated collection of components that are used by Oracle E-Business Suite modules. So we have some these are all the components. Like for example, simple example, ADOP. ADOP, right? ADOP is for online patching. So the Oracle E-Business technology stack is integrated collection of all of these components. So we may be using this. We may be using this application utility, workflow, alert, web application, desktop integrator. These are all the different components. OA framework. Few we may use, few we may not use. OAM we are going to use. User management, different community will be using. BA publisher, there are separate developer team will be using. Web application desktop integrator, some other people. Alert we may configure. Workflow we will configure. Right? Application utilities, where are all your utilities stored? So all of this will be irrespective of the application. You may be using all of this to any of this. Either it could be CRM, it could be financials, it could be HRMS, it could be manufacturing, it could be anything. But all of the components belonging to this Oracle E-Business technology stack will be applicable to any of them or all of them. Some customers may buy only financials, so you will use it. Some customers may buy HRMS, so you do like that. So it's like that. So these are all the utilities what you have. Oracle has provided these utilities, which are called the Oracle E-Business Suite technology layer is an integrated collection of components whose functionality is applicable to all the modules. So first one is very simple to understand, and we have to understand also. There is no way you can go out from this. Who are we? So we are Oracle Application DBS, or sometimes we call E-Business DBS. Right? So our activity is on like patching, like administration, like merge patching, like auto config, like cloning, like rapid install. We only used as of now we only used one. As of now we only used one. But the application DBA component provides a range of utilities that are used for installing. For installing, what did we use? We used rapid install, maintaining, and patching an Oracle E-Business Suite system. So sometimes you may do some administration work that can be done. That comes under maintaining. Patching, that comes under online patching. Earlier it was called AD patch. Now it is called ADOP. So right. So when you are in 12.2, the application DBA components provide set of utilities for installing, patching, and maintaining your Oracle E-Business Suite. So it could be for online patching from 12.2 onwards. You may apply patches, or also you can add a new language and products to Oracle E-Business Suite. So all of these activities you can do by ADOP. In earlier days, we used to call AD patch, but now we use called ADOP. It is called online patching. Why? Because when the system is up and running, you can apply the patches. So that's why it is called online patching. Apart from that, you may be doing day-to-day activities like compile app schema, like compile forms, compile reports, Java jar signing. So those things can be run by AD admin. So sometimes you may merge the patches. So instead of applying single patch, you may apply multiple patches. So you may have to merge the patches. That can be done by merge patching. So sometimes you may have to run autoconfig. Autoconfig is the heart of the system. Sometimes you run autoconfig on the on the database, on the application. You have to run autoconfig. I was yesterday one guy. He was just want to tell you that what has happened. They had some sort of a DR setup. So he just called me. He was little in a panic mode. So they implemented a DR. So DR means what? You have a prod and you have a DR. They implemented DR. So I helped him long time for some issue he had. He's not our student, but somehow he got my somehow he got me my phone number, and he had some issue a few months before for upgrade. Yeah, they wanted upgrade from, I think I supported him for the upgrade, and again he called yesterday. So they had a prod, and sir, I implemented DR. So after DR, right, what he has did is he has run autoconfig. He implemented DR and he ran autoconfig. Actually, what happens is if he has run autoconfig, what he did is it made an entry in production. Why? Because he, okay, after implementing DR, he opened in read-write mode. So you can open in a read-write mode. The DR you can open temporarily. You can open. That's called snapshot. It's called a snapshot. I'm not getting the full thing, but you can open a DR on a read-write snapshot mode. So this is possible from 11G onwards. It's open. You can open in a read-write, and what you can do, you can, from the application, you can run the autoconfig, and you can open the application and test everything. Once the testing is completed, you can again come back to recovery mode. You can again come back to recovery mode. So whatever changes happen, they will be rolled back. So, but when you, after implementing DR and when you're trying to open read-write mode, right, you have to clean up the FND nodes. You have to clean up the FND nodes. And that guy didn't clean up the FND nodes. So if you don't clean up FND nodes, what will happen is it will have the prod entries. He has run the autoconfig. Now, once he ran the autoconfig, what happened? So, the entries went and sat here. So this DR entry went and sat here. And again, he ran from autoconfig from the application tag. And this entry also, went here. His production came for a down, because what happens is this application entry went inside in the ICX parameters. Application came down. So he was little sharp enough. He immediately ran autoconfig. Immediately ran the autoconfig on the database on the application. Production was up. But now still the DR entries are there. So he was like asking like, now what should I tell to my company? Now what? So somehow he's getting a downtime. He told downtime. And he showed his system. He had this DR entry. So what he has to do is, first of all, forget about this DR. He has to resolve this prod. So now what he has to do, he has to clean up this FND nodes. Because it has a DR entry. He has to clean up this FND nodes, run autoconfig on database, run autoconfig on application. So then it will become perfect. So that is what this type of things we'll be doing. And if something goes wrong in production, that guy was a little tension only. Tension, but he was but now happened. So this is the solution, so now because he's having a DR entry, you have to run autoconfig on the database and run autoconfig on the application. Then sometimes you have to do a cloning. That is possible to do a rapid clone, and you have completed this rapid install, which will help you to do the installation. So this is the main slide in all of these components. The first one, this one will come into picture. A workflow we will configuring.
Sir,
alerts.
what is that rapid clone, sir?
The utility by which you can do the cloning. Cold cloning. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. We will be working on OAM, Oracle Application Manager. Application utilities, we know. We will not work on remaining things. This is all like a development team development team, development team, development team.
Can you show us F&D notes table? Means
What is that?
like the
What?
F&D notes table entries.
Ah,
The DR is captured right in production like that, something like that.
ah.
Can you show us here in the application or something?
Can I show live or how you're telling?
Yeah. Just F&D notes entries. What are the entries?
It will have your
captures or something?
it will have your current node name only. See, if you're for example, if you are running auto config here, it will have this node entry. So it will have, see, if you say select star from F&D nodes, it will have your database node name. You can check in your company. It will have your database name and you'll have application name, application node name. Apart from that, it should not have any other node name. Yeah, apart from that, it will not. If you run like, what he has done is, without cleaning up the F&D nodes, he has run auto config from the database tab. And what it thought that is a production node, and it made an entry directly in the production. So yeah, those things. So I told, that's all. We have to learn from our mistakes, and next time we'll not do. Or you document it. Next time we'll not do. So I have implemented DR. So what I do is, first we clean up the F&D nodes, so the entry is gone. Then we run the auto config. So even if you do one mistake, it gets escalated. You need to be little careful from that. Only if you are ready for that challenges, we need to face. Okay. So these are all the utilities. Now come to application object library. So this one, mostly the separate technical team will be working on this. Just at a high level, we can understand this. So it is nothing but there are collection of reusable code, programs, and database objects that provide common functionality across all products. So there are some reusable components. So which will provide the common functionality across all the products, right? So like mostly the development team, right? There is something called custom forms. Even when you implement custom forms, the look and feel will not change. How? Because they are going to use the reusable components. There is a, they will use, there is something like a template FMB. So when they take the template FMB and change the name, the look and feel from the Oracle provided forms and you develop a form will not change. Why? Because they are all collection of reusable code, programs, and database objects, which the development team will be working on this. So like, apart from that, like I have given an example called template FMB. Apart from that, you can submit a request from any responsibility, like submit a request. It's a reusable component. Submitting a request, it's not necessary that you have to be in only one product. You can be a general ledger user. You can submit a request because it's a reusable component, right? So like here is given, right? Your application object library offers many features to facilitate system administration. This include security setup, user management and maintenance features, management of concurrent processing. So this concurrent processing is everywhere. You connect as a general ledger user, you will find this concurrent processing server. Uniformity between products of flex field processing. Flex field comes under development team. So uniformity between products of flex field and procedure for report submission. Simple example is people who have worked in people who are working in Oracle applications. You have seen that report submission. Even you go to any, you are connected system administrator, you can find report submission. Even you connect as like a general ledger user, you can find it. So also I gave another example, like even when you're creating a custom programs, also the look and feel will not change because of this reusable component. So Oracle application object library is nothing but a collection of reusable components, programs, and database objects that provide common functionality across all the products. So like standard user interface, shared flex field value set. So this also comes under a technical team who will be working on this. Apart from that, profile options you have, application object library. So these are all standard report submission, which I was given another example. Like you go to you be in any responsibility, still you can find a standard report submission. That's what it's telling. Regardless of a product, you can be in any product. but still the standard report submission is there because it's a reusable component. So apart from that, you have something called application utilities, nothing but AU top. Okay, so maybe I don't. Okay, I think I have. Maybe I can show you physically what is an AU top. Okay, so you connect as Aura QA. I have one single node installed here. Okay. So now if you go to AU top, right, AU is nothing but like inventory, you can tell. So like it has, all the forms, it has all the source code. You can tell, see, inventory, remember this word inventory. What is an inventory? A place where everything is stored. So if you come to AU top and say, you go to forms US, you can find all the source code of all the forms. Not only AP, not only MSC, not only invoice, not only AR, everything. This is a source code. This is a source code. So it is stored here. It is stored here. So you can find AP forms. You can find GL forms. This is the source code. But actually, if you go to GL top, right? GL top, forms and US, you can find the runtime of it. You can find the runtime. So this is the source code and this is the runtime. So they main that even when people who have worked in the companies in production, where are you going to keep the forms? So you normally keep in AU top. If any custom top is there, right? Where you are going to keep? People who have worked, you keep here only. You keep here only. Even for the custom forms, so you keep here. And then what you do? You compile, right? F60 gen is in 11.5.10.2. But there is something called what? What is the command? 60 gen is for thing, and 11i is like this. And yeah, FRM batch, FRM compare batch. Suppose you want to compile a form, basically what you do, you copy the particular form into this. You have to copy here only. You have to copy here only. Any custom form also you have to copy here, and you have to compile it and move it to this particular location. The output should be in this location. Yeah, so that is what is AU top. I just want to make it short. So AU top is a place for all your files, like a central inventory, central location of forms and all. And it also has a lot of library files. Generating forms or reports may require access to shared. There are also some shared PLSQL library. So it's like that. So there is also something called Oracle workflow. So as an apps DBA, you need the what they call SMTP details from the customer, and we are going to configure it. We are going to do that configuration. But in realistically, it is used for different purposes. In a real-time company, some of the end users, they will they will create an invoice, they'll submit to the manager, the manager will approve. That way it really happens. So that is the real business purpose. But if you tell me what is our work, we just have to configure workflow. In a real world, it will be used for communication of data between the products, for the approval process and all that. But for us, we just have to configure. As an apps DBA, we just have to configure.
Sure, I have a question here. So I'm working on one problem. We have a developer on the client side who could not run some report, and it says that this SMTP blah 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 services not available, right? So how do we troubleshoot that? How do we, like, it's a new clone environment, new clone. They've cloned it from somewhere. And so single node rack and single node application.
Yeah. So you got the SMTP details and you got the IMAP details. Both SMTP, IMAP, and username and password. So all of these details you need it, and you feed the data. And if something errors out, there are some logs. So there may be logs, and the errors may be that it is not able to reach to the workflow mailer, or the username password is wrong. These are all the things what you may be facing. So we have to troubleshoot based on the logs. So if it is if it is working, it's fine. Is it on a clone instance?
Yeah, it's a brand new clone instance. They never connected the
So yeah,
SMTP.
yeah. So in production, it's running, right?
Yeah.
So if it is running in production, you just have to compare with the production, and it's not the same. It will have different values. So then once you run it fails, it has a log section. In the logs, you have to identify what is the problem and you have to troubleshoot it. Yeah, so that's the way how we do. Sometimes mostly it goes through. Sometimes it doesn't sometimes it doesn't go through. But still something is going in my mind. Last year they ended this workflow mailer. Now everything is token based. I'm not getting the technology. Anybody has that correct naming for workflow mailer? Now, it is not a simple SMTP and everything. It's now tokenized.
It's a OAuth 2.0.
OAuth 2.2. We have configured for one of the almost all the customers. We made it to OAuth 2.2.
It has been initially we have used the basic authentication.
Basic authentication.
Now we are using
OAuth.
Now we are using OAuth.
Yes. Last year, I think December onwards, they removed that basic authentication. Now it is all OAuth 2.0.
No. From the month of September, month of September.
September. For all the new customers, we have implemented OAuth 2.0. For that, we need to apply some patches. We open an SR and then we applied some few patches. And then we have to go to each of the managed servers and make some entries. And then in the Azure side, they should have an Azure. The customer should have an Azure. So only in Azure, they have to create a user ID and a password. And they will send some private key.
People with the help of people.
They'll send us P2L some certificate. We have to upload it, and then only it start working. It gave us a lot of trouble initially, but in your case also you find out, are you doing a basic authentication and OAuth 2? But normally most of the customers have already moved to OAuth 2.0.
Yeah, they're using SMTP only because they're just moving to the cloud. So down the road,
yeah. But I think even in the because Microsoft has stopped basic authentication. They don't want the username and password to be stored. So the tokenized means it will be like encrypted sort of thing. I'm thinking most of the people have already moved. But yeah, you just check with them and do that.
Okay.
Right. Sorry. Yeah. Similarly, you have something called alert system. Yeah, another 5 minutes we should be done. We have alert, like alerts we need to configure, and after that, normally the end users will be using. Like some table space have reached 90%, you get an alert to your inbox, or some invoice somebody has reached for more than $1 million. So immediately you can send an alert. You basically do some queries, you run some queries and you schedule them, and once that particular trigger happens, you get an alert. So this is a workflow application desktop generator. I have not worked on any of this, but basically it gives you the flexibility to use spreadsheet to complete your e-business task, like create formatted spreadsheet, download, view, edit. So something to do with the spreadsheets, this particular tool will be used. If they ask you, you don't need to work on any of this, but if at all any configuration or any patches has to be there, I'm telling you, anything, what is my role? My role is only to apply the required patches. You have to configure. You really don't need to do, you really don't need to know anything about this. Let it be XML publisher. You just have to know how to configure, like OAuth 2.0 implementation. We just have to we have to get the service node and start applying the required patches, and you go from like that. Okay. So even like OA framework is like a development framework made by standards, which is used to define web-based application, define components XML and Java, store XML in a metadata service, store Java component, generate HTML, run Java component, develop and query. So this is also one of the utility which can be used for any of these things, like BI Publisher. So BI Publisher, I was working with a developer closely long back, I know. So what they do is, in an MS Word, they prepare sort of a check. And then they will, this BI publisher will basically, convert into PDF file. They basically create a template. They basically create a sort of a template, right? And I've seen that template, and then they will convert into a PDF file. So that is normally what they do. What they do with BI publisher. So we really no need to do. So sometimes if some patches are required, you have to apply the apply the patches. But other than that, we really don't need to do nothing but the BI publisher. These are all some desktop products which is used by the development team. Okay. So what are other things? Yeah, application manager comes under our area only. Like Oracle Application Manager is our area only, because sometimes we have to configure workflow mailer, or even for cleaning up concurrent managers also, we should not run CM clean. Recently we had this, we should not use CM clean. CM clean is an old one, but in application manager itself, you have to go to maintenance, and you have to stop the concurrent managers, not even ICM, everything should be stopped. Then you go to OEM, then you go to somewhere maintenance, and from there, you say next. It basically just what CM clean does. It kills all the process, and whatever concurrent requests which are still running pending, it will close them. And then after that, you can run the CM clean. So like that, you can know what are the patches are being applied. So you can do monitor and tune performance. You can monitor system security, diagnose and correct problems. A lot of things you can do. This comes under our area, Oracle Application Manager. User management is nothing. We are not much involved. So there is a separate team who will be working, and no apps DBA will work on this. But at a high level, it is used for enable your defined administration functions and manage user based on specific requirements such as job role or a geographic location. It's for the role-based access control, delegation administration, registration process, and services. This is again a separate another product which will be used. So we are no way involved in this. So that's basic.
So the new one is CM admin, and especially after cloning, if the Concur Manager is not running, I have to use CM admin, and it cleans up all the old tables,
right,
and then it starts up the Concur Manager.
Right. You can do from the OEM also. You can do, earlier days we used to run CM clean. It's a shell script. It's a small shell SQL file which used to run. But nowadays you can do the same activity from OEM. We stop the concurrent manager. We go to OEM. We go to the somewhere in the maintenance, and just say next, and it basically. It basically whatever the concurrent managers are there which are open, everything is stopped, and then if you start it, everything will go well.
Sir,
Yeah.
can you show this OEM once?
Yeah, I don't have this application, but I'll be covering all of this. I'll be covering. Yeah, so that's yeah.
So when we had to run the flex field, compile flex field, that time we shut the concurrent managers?
No. While flex field, while compiling the app schema, while compiling the forms, we don't stop the application. Only when we run autoconfig, we stop the application. Not for even bouncing an OA core also, we don't bounce everything. We only, if the problem is with the OA core, we bounce the OA core. If the problem is with Apache, we just have to bounce the OPMN. So if everything got messed up, then only you stop all and start all, because that's a very big activity. Like it takes like half an hour to 45 minutes. So first you identify. Last time also I told you, right? So my way of troubleshooting is I just directly go to EBS domain home, and from here I go to servers. And I go, okay, the problem, mostly 99% the problem is the OA core server. So then I go to the log file, and so here I will find I'll just see the last lines. So here I'll get the idea, what is the problem. Okay.
Now, if, what happened last time was that we shut down stop all, And what happens, the admin manager or something, it won't come down. And when you start it, everything comes up, status 0. You want to bring it down, AD admin doesn't come down. So status 1. What do you do in that case?
You have to go to the admin log files and see what is the error.
Right.
You need to see, means we cannot tell a clear cut solution.
From the server.
From the admin server, for if the problem is the admin server, then I at the high level I can only tell. First, you have to go to this log file and go to the output file and try to figure it out, and do some sort of troubleshooting. If it's a production, you do this, then next level you just directly open an SR and you go from there.
Got it.
So then, so we'll catch up tomorrow. We'll finish this activity. Okay. Thank you, guys. Bye bye.
Thank you, Kishore. Thank you.
Yes, sir.